Hello, everybody. Welcome to Manifestation Theory, our brand new podcast show. This podcast has the objective of showcasing you the beautiful ideas, successful people who have succeeded in their manifestation journey, and you can use these ideas in your life to manifest your dream life. Today, episode 3 with a wonderful lovey-dovey episode where we're going to share about our soulmate journey, the soulmate journey of Dilip and Mangala. It's going to be a bit of dived in conversation where we're going to share about our unspoken emotions and especially wonderful questions that we received from our social media fam. We have like amazing questions that we're going to address today.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Most welcome. And finally, we are doing it.
Yeah, it has been a long time we were thinking of doing this. I mean, it's like always thinking mind will block you from doing sometime.
Yes.
But this is the time we chose to do it.
Yeah.
And and it's going to be a very awesome journey. And
It
thank you
is.
so much.
Thanks to you too. Welcome. And we're going to dive into the questions. Before that, I'm feeling so grateful. Thank you so much, people, our social media fam, for showing us so much of love and so much of beautiful messages we have got. Thanks a lot. And we are so happy and honored to be addressing all these questions and to share with you our manifestation journey in terms of relationship, right? So the first question, I really love this question a lot because I want to hear it, no? This is to Dilip. You are a coach, had so much of experience in life. What made you to choose Mangala in your love life? Wow.
We can have much experience in your work or business and everywhere, but then love is an experience which requires a lot of energy actually, because it's kind of like you are becoming your authentic self of you. That is where it all begins with, right? So when I was in love, I always question myself, what is love meaning to me? So that is the question I always ask myself. But then the moment I realized that love is when you accept yourself as you are, that is love. That was the answer I got. And then that is the moment I chose to be alone with myself for some time. And that is the time I was getting the energy of Mangala. It was like suddenly when I feel like, why am I in a relationship where I feel so lonely? That is a moment of like, it is a sparkling moment. I mean, like I didn't recognize that on that time, but the moment when I was being alone with myself and I was driving in my car and I feel, I mean, like everybody goes through this moment, right? You will be feeling lonely and then you feel like, isn't it the one person in your life who doesn't understand your love? I mean, like, isn't that one person who can understand my deepest love I have for, and I have belonging to give for, right? That was the moment the voice came to me as you that I want to learn more about you. But
Yes.
I didn't recognize that on that time. It took me almost like 6 months to go back and check what was the moment we have initiated our conversation, right? So it was the moments, it was a small moments where we always ask ourselves, good morning, and how are you doing? What are you feeling? So these questions will be our very good morning wake up messages. I don't usually send good morning wake up messages,
Me too.
but then somehow Mangala used to send me a message that good morning Dilip ji, and then I will send her that good morning birdie. So that 6 months of the period, it took me some time to recognize that this person is always there with me. And why am I not recognizing that person as love? I mean, like this has nothing to do, love doesn't have anything to do with qualification or experience or anything. It is about the presence, and it is about the moment you are listening to that person's voice, or the moment you are being with that person next to you, each other.
Yeah.
That is when you will realize that, you know what, this is the person, this is the connection you have. Of course, after you start living together, it's a different story. But that is the moment I recognize, and also the moment where Mangala never judged me that I'm going through my divorce process, right? So when I was going through my divorce process, she didn't even judge me And also, she didn't even judge about my past relationships. I mean, like, of course, I had a lot of moments, like even affairs and all those moments also happen in my life. And I was transparent and I was authentic about whatever I have been through.
Yeah.
So what was your feeling when I was telling about my affairs and also the divorce process I'm going through?
So at the beginning, right, before even we got into relationship, like you said, the moment you received my voice note. So basically, as he said, he was driving, right? I was in a period where I was in a very depressive state, and I was like reaching out for help. And one day in the middle of the night on my bed, my pillow got wet because I was crying and I was scrolling Instagram. And I saw a post that really resonated to me. And I messaged that person saying that thank you for posting this. And that was Dilip. And the next day morning, I shared about my feelings in a voice note saying that I might need help. I'm going through stuff and everything. But I said I had trust issues. So I said, I want to know you more. I want to, learn you better. So let's be friends. So I was not his coachy, guys. He's coach for many of you. I was not his coachy. We was friends, luckily, right?
Yeah, it is lucky because I used to put my boundary when anyone is asking about coaching. I mean, like coaching is a coach. I mean, like coach and coachee relationship is different, and relationship of I mean, like
friends
is different,
we
right?
was online
Friendship is a place you can be your authentic self.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Everything starts from the friendship, right?
And so that is why whenever you shared about your past and everything, I don't feel like judging you, because that time I was having a lot of past issues as well, and I was sharing it to you. The funniest part is I wasn't recognizing that he was there. Like how did he recognized? I was coming in telling him, by end of the day, you know what? No one understands me. You know what? There is no one there for me to, to share my thing. There is no shoulder to lean on. While telling it to him, when there is someone actually who's listening to me, it took a few weeks for me to understand that, okay, he is actually there for my go-to person. And the best part is we connected intellectually. You know what? I was into my my master's studies. I was doing my research. Every day I had to deal with my rats. Every day I have to, inject them. Sometimes I inject myself. I mean, accidentally. So there were a lot I was going through, but I couldn't get a person to really share what am I researching about, what is that, the depth of it, why am I doing it passionately. There was this one person who really connects with that, who really asked me challenging questions about it. So that's when I felt like, okay, there is someone who really connects with me intellectually, and we can have a very dived in conversation about this. So I felt so comfortable, and your past didn't even bother me, because the present, the whatever communication, whatever thing that we are sharing, that was so meaningful actually. Thank you.
And thank you too.
Welcome. So next question is, okay, the question came to us. Did you guys went through any moment to break your relationship? Let me be honest to you. Yes. I'm the one who wanted to announce breakup. So, yes, we did. It was the period where we actually haven't meet each other. It was after the MCO period, right?
Yeah, it was like it was almost like the MCO was going off actually,
Going
right?
off,
So
going off,
we are kind of like connected during the MCO period, right? So
Yeah.
that's the moment most of you would have faced your demons of your life, that where you really needed a companionship and you can't live with one companion in one room. So that would have been your real demon. All the
Either
while
you go for it or you just leave everything and go isolate yourself.
all the while you could have been distracting yourself at work, or you could have been distracting yourself going out with friends, or some other distraction or diverging your energy would have happened. But during the period of MCO, that's when everyone face our own demons, which is like you can only connect with people online. The in-person as well was a challenge. That's the moment we connect with each other. And that's when basically what happened to me is like I realized that companionship is about being together. It's not about only speaking in online. So there are a lot of people who used to text me, who used to ask me, But then when it comes to meet up, nobody shows up, right? So this is one of the key thing I usually ask people, right? Whenever they say, you know what, I was in a relationship, I'll just ask them a question: how many times you guys have met in person, right? So that will be like shocking to them. You know what, we have met only one time, but I love them deeply. Of course, you have only met them one time and then you are loving them deeply. How is it even possible? Because every day you're going to live with that person, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very important question you need to ask.
Yeah.
Yes, on 5th October 2021, that is the moment Mangala wanted to announce the breakup. Before
Through an
even,
online video call.
yeah, before even meeting me in person.
Because the pressure itself was, I couldn't come out and meet you. The pressure itself, like, I have to be honest in this, right? Being the elder daughter, being the responsible daughter, not only me, many of us are going through as we speak, right? We are feeling so guilty to pursue our love life, to pursue into our dating life, because we are so responsible. We got to take care of our parents, take care of our responsibility, whatever studies we are doing, we have to be in that. But there is always a guilt instilled if you wanted to go out and just spend time with the guy that you like. And in that point of time, I was so pressurized, because I was the girl who grew up not to have so much of hanging around time with your friends. Not saying that's bad, that's a good thing. I wasn't really had the opportunity to do that, because I was only the kid who focuses on the family and the studies. Not to blame my parents, but that's how they see the world, which is not safe outside.
Yeah, that creates a illusion in their parents' life, right?
Yeah.
Because their parents have gone through the similar situation like us, and that brought them to a fear of abandonment, right? So that fear of abandonment created an illusion, right? So in your inner circle, whoever is telling you that you are going to break up with your boyfriend, you are going to go through this kind of pain.
You're going to go through hardship. I saw that in my dream.
So all these guys, it's an illusion. It's really an illusion. If anyone is telling you, I have awakened my third eye and I'm able to predict your future and you are going to go through a pain, it's really an illusion. If that person has already awakened their third eye, they should wish for love for you. They shouldn't be wishing a separation or fear of abandonment. This, I really wanted to stress it, because this is kind of a thing coming to us, and keep on telling that my friend told me this, my parents is telling me that, they dreamt about me. Of course,
Black magics,
right? So of course the dream is real when you are of course a dream is real when you are really deeply connected with your heart, by seeing that other person as you are. That is when your dream is really real. If you don't have that kind of feelings, or if you can't even trust one person in your life, that is a sign that you are living in an illusion. You are not dreaming about love, right?
Yep.
So this part of the place where it really made made Mangala to make a choice of going into a silent mode.
silence, because the pressure was so high. Like every day, the nagging was like very, very pressurizing me with whatever roles I was playing. It was so hard for me. And on the other side, I felt like I am being an untruthful child. I have to lie. I have to, hide the love I have. So I feel like, let's release myself from that now. I just told him that let's not talk. Let's take a pause. Let's not, communicate or anything. Let's stop this for a moment. And my intention to do it, to do that, is actually, there is two things. One is, I was connecting spiritually. I was connecting to Lord Shiva. I just wanted to, be a person who be truthful to myself. So I just want to go inward, not having any communication outside. I just want to be with me and understand what am I actually feeling. And when I do that also, he came inside of me. It's just that I keep seeing him and I realized that this is the love that I wanted. Second intention is, okay, every day the nagging that I'm receiving, that no, you know what, I know there is something wrong. You're doing something, you're hiding something. So I stopped doing that. The same thing came, even though I didn't do it. Then I realized, okay, this is your illusion, your fear, and it has nothing to do with me. What am I feeling? It's a very simple test.
So that is the moment. Also, it has a very deep, meaningful connection with me as well, because
Yeah.
Mangala just simply texted me saying that go deep within yourself.
Yeah.
So all this while everyone tell you that go deep within, go deep within, we may not know what is go deep within. That is a real meaningful words. I really take it as it is, and then I really went deep within. I mean, like I do see her as well deep within myself. This happened 3 years ago, where we didn't even see each other, where we didn't even meet each other in person. Right? Of course, we have seen each other in our Instagrams,
Online
but not
calls,
in
video
in
calls.
person. Right? So that happened on 5th October. She wanted to announce the breakup, but
That ended up being a very intellectual communication that we was having about our future, about everything.
so then we were able to meet in person on 28th October, right?
Yes.
So if
yes.
any one of you are doing online dating, we would highly recommend meet the person in person, because the energy when you are meeting in person is totally different than online, because we are trying to live two different life in our life, right?
Yeah. Before even going through breakup thoughts, meet them in person, because till now I am so grateful that I did not choose to break up. Seriously. With the life that I'm living now with him, oh my God. If I did that, probably I could have died alone without being in a relationship. Okay. And third question. Hi, dear. I understand that yours is love marriage. How was your parents' reaction at first? To be honest, they were so fearful. And my parents was the parents who are in between, where they want to be the parent, modern parent, who want to say yes for love relationship, but at the same time, oh no, what happens if if this person is unsafe? What happens if someone just kidnap you? What happens if you go into a relationship where that is unsafe, and with the man who already married before, he has a kid, and all those traumatic experience that they had in their life came up, and they went into so much of fearful and survival mode, up to a place where they really wanted to control the outcome very much. I had to promise them, I had to go through some sort of emotional, verbal and physical abuses, and it was not really a good moments actually in my life.
So yeah, but that moment, how did you able to choose yourself? How was you able to choose yourself?
That was my last choice, because I'm a person who is always put everyone else in front of me. I don't choose myself ever at first, right? I will that people pleaser personality. Yeah, the elder daughter who takes responsibility, make sure everyone is good, safe, all of you are good. Okay, then I go take care of myself, right? So this moment when I was being that girl all my life for 26 years, I was prioritizing my parents, even my past relationship, which was like going up to marriage, but then it break up, was because I wanted to prioritize my parents' happiness end of the day. Is this going to bring happiness to them, right? I didn't actually had a thought about how am I going to live. But when I being that person, and end of the day, I was not appreciated. And when I asked for it, it wasn't really
But
respected.
that is from your story, right? What
Yeah.
would be your parents' story? Because your parents would have really seek happiness for you as well. They wouldn't
Exactly.
have.
It's
I mean,
just memang they were so committed that my child has to go through a very happy and peaceful life, and whatever happened in my life should not repeat. Should not repeat.
oh, so that should not has manifested really the
That's what-
experience, whatever they have been through. That same experience has been manifested into your life.
Exactly. Because we will speak about this in our upcoming podcast. We really want to talk about this because we want to bring my mom, and we're going to talk about this because she is very open to share this actually to the people out there. And yeah, they were so fearful. They just want to be the good parents who gave the best thing to the kid. But they are so fearful about their life. Whatever happened in their life should not happen. And that is what has been manifested in my life actually.
So it's interesting. I mean, like our my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they are open to talk about whatever the fears they had been through.
Yep.
There was another question which will be coming up. We'll be explaining about that detail.
Yeah. We will be doing that detail. So that's when, end of the day, I choose myself and I walk out from my house. I literally walk out. And I started to live the life how I want to live. And then comes the moment where we connected through our intention, right? We will have that dived in talk with them. Actually, that will be really, really interesting. Okay, so the next question is, as an elder daughter and pampered child, how did you felt after walking out of the house? Emptiness. Because I walked out literally with nothing. I woke up in the morning, I brushed, I took my certificate, laptop, I just walk out. That's all. Done. I walk out. I drove my car to the respective places, to secure myself. And then I seeked for help actually with my friends and spoke to a psychologist, and everything happened in that period, right? After that, I realized I end up sitting with nothing. I never had extra clothes. I didn't have my other than that, my accessories or anything. I didn't have anything. I was just alone. I was completely empty. That's the moment I felt the nothingness in my life. And after that, when he was there to support me, he just gave the base support, whatever needed, like everything from the beginning. Like, because I was waiting for my job that time, like including the clothes, the food, my spec, my watch, everything that a person needed, right? The roof. So yeah, we are grateful to our friends as well who helped us for that. So I gone through a very nothingness period. It was very hard because that's the moment your self-esteem just shatter. Looking at the people around, everybody has their life, their thing with them, and I just feel like I'm shattered. But that nothingness gave me the insight that I have myself actually now for me. And I have a love with me, which is just being genuine, to committed to take care of me, ourselves, and our passion. And I was holding on to that to build myself. It's like starting from the scratch. That has happened to us. We just started from scratch, because that's the moment when you too has to leave things and come out, right?
Yeah, so that's the next question which is coming up as what are the challenge you guys have faced after started living together?
Yeah.
So for us, the challenges we have faced before itself, it was shattering, because it's kind of like Mangala has to go through a place where she has to walk out of the house. Before she even walk out of the house, that is the moment I was going through my divorce process, right? So 6 months before, I applied for my divorce process, and that was ongoing actually. So, and not it's 6 months. 1 year ago itself, all the separation has been announced, and then 6 months period, I was going through my divorce process.
The legal
stuffs, everything was going on, and I had to let go of the house which I bought, and then I had to let go of my car. I mean, like the car was the biggest attachment I had than house, right? So I had to let go of all those. Yes, of course, like Mangala said, that moment I am also becoming nothing, right?
It's like the moment where we felt nothing and everything.
Yes.
It's nothing was there with us, but we also felt everything with us, which is like we had each other with us.
So we had each other. I mean, like that's when actually we even thought of connecting back with the nature, which is like we went to a place where it's a hexagon in Raub, where you can where you have to just go with your basic amenities. You don't have all the luxurious things. It's just a very basic thing. I mean, like the lizards will be sleeping with you. We went there, and then we stayed there for one night just for to see our resilience, how our living togetherness is going to be powerful, right? So that showed us that, oh, we were able to even live with the lizards, so why can't we live with human beings, right?
It was
so,
enjoying period.
so we
Actually,
were,
we
but it
enjoyed.
was a very fun and enjoying moment. And yes, of course, after the challenge, which whatever that we have faced, it was repeating because I had carrying the fear of abandonment, and Mangala was carrying fear of abandonment. So that part is again repeated in last year for us, where we had to again go through a nothingness. That is the moment we realize that, you know what, something we haven't worked upon or something we haven't looked upon. So it's all about, like, we always come from a place of guilt and shame, and that creates a lot of fear of abandonment. So when you are having a fear of abandonment, what happens to you is that you tend to choose to be lonely. So whenever there is a life challenge hits in your life, you wanted to, like, you know what, I want to isolate myself, I want to live with myself, I want to do a self love. All those self love concept doesn't work if you don't live with another human being in your life, right? So whatever that we are talking about self love, it is the place you needed to ask yourself, why can't I even trust one person in my life? If that question is like, you know what, I can't, that is a sign that you needed to do a lot of inner healing and manifest your self love first, then you can manifest your love, right? So that's the challenges we had been through. Basically, we had lost all our money, and
Basic
also
needs, yeah.
some of our best friends we have lost in the journey. So all those things are happening, right? So you will be losing your people, you will be losing the money,
Material belongings.
material belongingness, of course, health also, because your health is manifested into a different kind of like a science, like,
Yeah, let me say that. So, we human being, when we store pent up emotion, right, especially anger, it just go badly in your health, right? The period I walked out, right, the real thing is I was struggling with two things, which is I do have love for my parents a lot because we were such a close, how do I say, such a loving family. It's just their fear is what manifested. Other than that, we was very, very happy family. But I was so angry. My anger was so much. I was having so much of anger. Why I have to go through this? Why, guys, you didn't understand me? Why you couldn't believe me? Why you didn't want to trust me, right? So these two was very contradicting. And those, every time when I get angry, I was going through constipation issues. I was going through bleeding in the motion. I was having IBD, irritable bowel syndrome. So then I realized that I'm actually penting up this anger without letting it go, without having forgiveness, without accepting the fact that I do love them. I was storing this. So in terms of health, it does affect it as us as well, actually.
yeah. So, and also it goes back to the point of, like, we both coach each other, right? It's not only
Yeah, coaches.
I coach Mangala. Of course, 1 year it took her to train from me, and then after that she become the coach. Now if I am going through anything, she's the one person I go to. She's my coach as well. And what happened to us is, like, it requires a lot of authenticity and audacity to speak with each other, right? So recently I figured out that my leg swelling, so I used to have a leg swelling, and then I will not be able to even walk in my life. So that leg swelling is caused by fear of abandonment. So in my past, whenever I lose money, I lose people as well. So that I always equate to that, and that manifests into a health issue, which is like, I used to have my leg swelling, and then I will not be able to walk for 2-3 days. After that, I push my positivity, and then I become
Yeah.
myself, and then I started walking, right? So whenever you have anger with people, or whenever you have fear of abandonment, remember your base chakra is getting impacted, and you might go through a leg swelling, or you
Any
might
sort
go
of inflammation
knee
in
pain,
your body.
or even arthritis, right?
Arthritis.
So because
Arthritis.
we wanted our parents or someone else to take care of us,
Yeah,
right? So that is the need we have.
Yeah.
And if you are moving away from that need and trying to be more positive or trying to be more provider, it is not going to help you. It is always going to impact somehow in your health. And for me, it took me a lot of toll to process it. I was able to process it by living with my parents recently.
Yeah.
And also accepting everything in my life, right? So accepting everyone, each and every individual who had contributed. I used to find always the reason of psychology, like, you know what, this person is a narcissist, this person is a dark empath, all those things
I
I was
did that
doing.
too.
So all those things I was doing. But this moment, I pause myself and ask myself, why can't I be grateful for those moments these guys have done whatever into my life.
Yep.
Whatever that moment I have spent with them, they were trying their best. It's the same way I am trying my best to give people. It's the same way everyone was trying in my best in my life, like my grandma, my uncle, my grandpa, my mother, my father, all of them, and also my best friends who are always trying to give the best for me. And that is what brought me to a person of love now. And I'm really grateful for each and every individual who has contributed in my love life, right? So that bring me a place to understand what is love is. We always call it as unconditional love, and that is going to be with our parents. Remember, guys, whenever you are saying it's unconditional love with the parents, it is a sign that you are conditioning as a parents, right? So your unconditional love with can be any human being in this planet, and that is going to manifest as love deep within you and manifest love around you.
Oh, very beautifully said. Very beautifully said. Thank you. And our next question is something that is related to what is the guiltiest moment you guys felt?
Right?
We did faced guiltiest moments. Yeah.
Yes. Basically, guilt is an emotion which always hide deep within you. You really didn't want to show to your whoever is the deepest love. You can say that through words. You can say that, you know what, I love you so much. You are my life. You are my love. You are my soulmate. You are my twin flame. Whatever the language we use, but guilt is an emotion which is going to hide deep within you.
Yep.
And it is going to manifest physical reality, right? Because most of the cheating or whatever that we are talking about, that is going to manifest in your life, because that is your familiar emotion in your life. If you are a guy who has already has done a cheating or being with another person without the commitment, so what happens to you is like that guilt will keep coming back to you.
Yep.
Until you heal that guilt.
Yep.
Right? So yes, I have faced my guilty moments in my life. I have faced that. It was not easy. It was not easy. The only simple thing what I did is, when I faced my guilt, I was having a honest conversation with Mangala. Whatever that hormonal feelings I had, I went to her and told her that, you know what, this is what I really felt.
And same goes to me, because whatever the past stories that he shared, I was like receiving it. At the same time, I do had my guiltiest version. Before we got into a relationship, there were some past stories which I didn't get to share with him. So that was still in me, like, will be like very guilty, you know, being the person who is like really taking care of you, being there together. And then deep inside, you feel like, I should have told this to him. I should have shared this to him. Am I not being honest? Am I actually, betraying? So those kind of thoughts will be coming up. You know what? I just spoke. I shared it.
Let's be honest, guys. I mean, the guilt is an emotion which will always happen through lust.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's always happens through lust, right?
Yes.
So let's be honest about that, actually.
Yes.
It is basically an emotion which is your hidden emotion of love, hidden emotion of intimacy that transmute and become as a lust, right?
Yep.
So when you really see that, how is it being transmuted to a lust, that is when you will be able to really recognize your real guilt. So if you don't really understand what is your real guilt, what is going to happen to you is like you are going into a moment to hide it. The more you are hiding it, the more it is going to come out and manifest as a very bad experience in your life later part. So if you are having, this is the one thing which I did in my past relationship, right? So where I always feel that, okay, you know what, if I am going to go and share this to that person is going to get hurt. So I try to keep on bottle up that, and I try to keep on hide that information.
Exactly.
So
it's like the other person feels like, if I share this to him, he might leave me. And then we might don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
So, and it is going to hurt them bad. I mean, that was my feeling. Like I felt that it is going to hurt them bad. But then one point I was being so honest with myself and asked myself, even if I going to tell this after 6 months, it's the same hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to be the deepest hurt than that, right? So that is a moment I wanted to be very true, and it was not easy. It was not really easy. It was a moment you had to really face all of your energy as
Scariest
like
moments.
a death kind of experience, right? You
Can
had to
be.
face that experience and you had to go and tell that person. So, and of course, because of the guilt I was going through, that is what made me to cut myself, right? So it was, of course, it's a deep wound. So of course, guys, I mean, like whatever that guilty feeling you have, that can cause anything in your life.
Thank you for not dying that time. This was in the past, right?
Yes. So that happens whenever you are trying to be true, even with your friends, even with your family, even with your relationship. But they all come from a place of disciplining yourself and feel that, you know what, you are not an adult, you are a kid. I mean, you don't know all these things. That made me one kind of like questioning myself. You know what? I have read so much. I have learned about this concept so much. I have learned more about intimacy, and I have learned about more about love. I have learned so much. But then why you guys are not even understanding
Acknowledging.
what I have learned in my life, whatever I am experiencing in my life? We can't change a person's feeling. Whatever that they are feeling, it is their true self. You needed to really understand whatever that they are feeling is them. So first acknowledge that they are feeling that. Don't try to change it. First acknowledge it that. So that is the one important element I see in Mangala. That's what made me to fall in love with her. This answers the first question as well. So where she really first acknowledged me, right? And trying to correct will come through us. That is because we have our fear of abandonment, fear of resentment. So all those things comes to us. We needed to really process it within ourselves.
Yep. So it was a journey for us because since the time we was living in the other state, while I was working in Kedah, so we had no one around us. It was only us in the terms of like we wasn't staying close to our friends or close to our family. It was only between us. So we had to like deal among us. We have to, whatever it is, whatever emotion, I have to share it with him, and he shared it with me. So yeah, we went through those process. It was a very deep moment where I cried out loud by sharing all those past issues, whatever has happened to me, whatever abuses I had gone through, and also whatever
Sexual abuse.
Yep, the sexual abuse that I had gone through. I wanted to share it to him. You know, that's the moment where I realized that there is a man who could really accept you for whatever has happened to you in the past. And I was going through some intimacy challenge. I couldn't voice out to people, and all that I just openly shared to him. Actually,
Yeah, because I think that one we have spoke deeper about it as well, because on that moment of guilt has been happening as a woman when you are very young, right? So you are going through a process, you don't even understand what is sex actually, right? So because you are a very what do you call it, very plain whiteboard. You don't know what is sex, you don't understand what is orgasm, you don't even understand any of this. And that moment, if any abusal is happening to you, your body could experience a hormonal change and you might enjoy that actually, right? That is the place a woman will be coming from. The woman would be enjoying that moment. But later, the part where you will feel shameful about it because of the knowledge you are gaining from outside world, right?
this shouldn't happen to me. I shouldn't have allowed this to happen. What if I tell this and people is going to judge me? The first question people ask is like, why did you allow it to happen? What did you do to make it happen? So is the place where we don't want to talk about it, because that's when we will start to hate ourselves. I should have known this. Why didn't I was being aware of it? Why did I, just be there like that? Why shouldn't I speak up for myself? Because all this is what people used to tell, right? You have to speak up, you have to do this, but then we didn't have that knowledge. We don't know what is actually happening. And being that child who is really so confused, after you grow up, you start to understand, oh, this is what has happened to me. Oh, this is how I was being, I didn't speak up for myself. You develop so much of anger within you about you. I was so much
And also
angry.
about the other gender.
Men.
Always to generalize that, all men are like this, all women are like that.
Yep.
So if a man would have gone through a betrayal, then they tend to say that all women are like this. They
Yeah.
will cheat you and then they'll leave you. Or the women will say that all men are like this, right? So let's not generalize it.
Yeah.
It is happening for each of the individual human beings. If you are able to generalize it, it is a sign that there is some part of us which we didn't accept our the whatever that past version which we have. We needed to accept that past version and bring that past version to the present moment and acknowledge that version actually, because that time you never had the knowledge.
Yeah.
That time you'd never know what was happening.
Yeah.
That time you're really experiencing your real hormonal changes,
Yes.
right? So that is the place where you needed to start from, right? That is where your healing journey begins to manifest your soulmate.
I feel like saying that even when you are being truthful about your guilt to your partner, when you choose to be truthful and you wanted to share it to your partner, after that, whatever the outcome is, accept it as it is. Because if the person wants to see you as you are and accept you, they're not going to leave you. They will understand where you're coming from and they'll be there as a safe space. And if the person doesn't align with that and judging you or throwing words, accept it and see them as they are. And have the satisfaction that you are being truthful. You are opening up to say out what are things that you was guilty about.
Yes, because don't let your guilt to transmute into anger, or don't let guilt to transmute as fear, right?
Yeah.
So these two emotions of anger and fear can be stored in any of your body parts, and that emotional release is what we are recently helping people to release their emotions
from the
which are
body.
stored in their body, which can manifest into
Diseases.
diseases. It's not about even only diseases. When it comes to very really shame will manifest as a tummy in your body.
Yes. Accumulation of fats around your solar plexus. Basically, you will be feeling bad looking at the mirror. Basically, it's not nothing but shame. The emotion of shame that has been pent up will cause accumulation of fat around your body. It can be any part, not only your tummy. It can be your hip area. It can be your butt area. Some women face it here in your arm area. It's the shameful self, because fat will come and store as a cushioning and makes us to have a gap within another human being. It's like energetically you are moving away from another human being because you just want to close yourself inside your cocoon. It is a shameful version of you.
Yep. So this is not only happening to those people who are really having a real tummy. Even for a smaller tummy, we used to feel shameful. So really process that. That shameful feeling is coming through your guilt. It doesn't come through your It doesn't come through your fear or anger, or even the part of you which is driving you to do your workout, or is driving you to avoid the workout or avoid it and then go and eat your dessert and then feeling guilty. So it's all coming from your past guilt and shame. So you really needed to process that.
And okay, so there is this question. I faced this question in person as well, right? Excuse me. When you're manifesting, you are manifesting to be a second wife in a marriage. How were you able to feel safe? This question is to Mangala, to me. I've really faced this question even during the process of marriage, actually, when we was going through that, right? People call it as, second marriage, second wife. But let me be honest to you, right? In my lens, in my perspective, I had gone through relationships as well before him, right? It's just that I wasn't ending up in marriage. It was planned up to marriage and things got cancelled, right? And he was going through multiple relationships before me. Every human being gone through relationships in our life, and that is what made us to be the person who we are now. Through that we learn, through that we become wise, through that we know ourselves better. So that time, the only person I saw was Dilip, who is being wise enough to make me feel safe and secure in the relationship. And I was very sure that he was not in a committed relationship. He was going through separation. and he was alone, and that itself enough for me. And while we speak, we connected through our passion. And I felt like that is safe, that is secure. A communication where you are not feeling being judged, criticized, shamed off. And there is a person who could really understand about you better. And he had the vision of serving the community. And my vision was as well serving the community. It just was in different field, but our intention was same. So that is what I chose actually. That is what I chose to be in a relationship with and to do with my life. Rather seeing the labels, because I felt like those labels has nothing to do in my life actually. That's my
Yeah, because
honest feeling.
the number of marriages or number of relationship, of course you still need to process your healing process. I don't really deny on that, because we are always fearful about relationship, or we might be anxious about being lonely and then go and end up becoming in another relationship or connecting in another relationship. Yes, of course there was a moment I was questioning myself, am I being anxious and connecting with Mangala, or am I being secure and connecting with Mangala? So that was a real question I had to ask myself.
Yeah.
And I realized that I am being secured and then connecting with her. It's not that I'm being anxious to connect with her, right? So that was the moment of turning point of my love life. Actually, it just turned around everything. So
Because I was in a moment where in my life to give up love life, to give up relationship and go into ashrama and serve people in ashrama, in a sanctuary, serve God, serve people. I'm done with my love life, relationship life. Just be the daughter who serves the family. Okay, once all settled, go into some sanctuary kind of place, serve the God, serve the people, whoever coming to see the God. Done. That was my aim actually about relationship.
this goes back to the manifestation and intention you sent into a vibration and frequency to the universe, right?
Yes.
Basically, I was surrendering to Shakti and Mangala was surrendering to Shiva. And we were surrendering to the humanity, right? We wanted to serve the humanity. And that is the intention passed through to the universe and it transmute back into physical reality. Then we realize that why do we need to do the serving separate? When we can be together, and we were able to grow a lot of love together as a couple, right? So this was the question which came to us, and we were able to understand that question and also able to answer that question. That answer made us to go into a deeper self of us.
Yes, yes. It's more like he's being home for me and I'm being home for him. And we would like to be a place where people can come, heal, and grow in their life. So that's where our vision came alive, which is like we are being the sanctuary for the people through our coaching. So we felt like that is what we wanted to live, and we are living it with love.
Yeah, the home is something for your spiritual mind, is about how you connect with yourself and the other person, and your material mind is the home you have as a space, right? You needed to balance both. You cannot be like saying that, you know what, I have the person and then I'm letting go of all the money, and then I have you and I'm letting go of all the money. It's not going to help you. You needed to realize that you are living in human life and you need material and you need love as well. These both need to coherently work to
Together.
grow humanity, to serve the purpose, to serve whatever that you feel like doing in your life, right? So whatever that you love to do, that is the purpose.
Yep. Beautifully said. And here goes the next question. How did you both able to connect back with your parents? It sometimes feels like very courageous decision, unimaginable, mostly seen in movies. How did that happen in real life? Okay, let me be honest to you, right? I was actually struggling a lot with that love and anger feelings that I was having in my mind. I couldn't really accept completely. I also couldn't really let go of them completely because they did a lot for me in my life to sculpture the person who I am now. My parents has put in a lot of effort, energy, love to make me the great person actually. So they gave this knowledge, they gave me a lot of love lot of love which helps me to be in an intimate relationship with my partner, right? So I am so grateful to my parents and I love them because my mother and I had a very, very beautiful bond. We are like very thick friends, right? So I couldn't really completely eliminate them from my life. At the same time, I was having anger. Why did you do this to me? Why?
So there was
It's in between.
so there was a moment when I realized that Mangala has a very lot of love for her parents, and we managed to bring them in one place. We try to talk it out, but end up becoming it become a blame game. We blame each other, and then it become a very big argument in that
Hassles, yeah.
space, right? Of course, that argument is needed for us to understand each other.
Yeah.
If you don't have that kind of arguments
Open talk.
and understanding ourselves and whatever the need we are coming from and whatever the need your parents are coming from is not going to help us actually. So this one we will be diving deeper with Mangala's mother, because we usually, this is what we do in our coaching sessions, right? If let's say we have three people, they're talking about their problem, we wanted to bring all the three and ask their problem. We don't want only asking one perception,
Yeah.
because we always come from a place of defensive mode, or we always come from a self-sabotage mode. We tend to blame everything on us, or we tend to blame on others, right?
Yeah.
So that is the very basic thing we always do in our coaching session. This has been crafted in our coaching program very deeply, and we realized that, you know what, if we needed to sort out our challenge, first heal yourself. If you feel that, you know what, other person also need to heal, bring them together. Don't create separation in it. You bring them together as a couple or bring them together as a family. We would be able to recognize it, what can be sorted out. It is not about disciplining. It is about understanding each other's feeling and see the intention and alignment in between that can manifest your dream into reality.
Exactly. So, yeah, we connected through our intention. We chose love, and they have so much of love for us as well. And yeah, we got back together. And yeah, so our next question. Oh, come on. You guys are really showing up great in social media. The fact is, the real life is different from what people show. Tell us the real version of your daily life. Do you guys dance and romance all the time?
This is a funny question actually. I
Yes.
usually see this as a funny question, and also it's also a deep question, right? So because if you can't see that other couple is being happy, that means you are storing some illusion in your head that, you know what, couples will be like this, couples will be behaving like this, they'll be doing this in person, but then in social
Inside,
media
yeah,
they'll be showing off something. That is coming from a place of our familiar illusion we connect with, right? So in reality, that couples could be having a happy moments. We wouldn't know, because, and also it's not that we don't show only our happiness in our
Social media.
social media.
We do show the hard times as well, the challenges times as well. The moment I was crying as well.
So the moment that also becomes a part of like, oh, you guys are wanted to be a coach, that's why you're sharing. No, it's our real life
We
scenarios.
want to show how the reality actually is. Even though we are coaches, even though we are that inspiring couple, whatever whatever you perceive us, we also wanted to show the reality. What is the challenges we are facing, and how are we navigating through that?
Yeah, so because in my life, whenever I'm facing this kind of challenging moments, I didn't know a person go to and ask them, you know what, this is the real feeling I have, and what is that I have to change in myself, or change in my environment, or change in my job, or change in my money level. But I don't have anyone to speak about that. That's what made me to be a coach. And if you guys notice, you guys can go and read our social media. There are moments we would have talk about our third person, and that's the reason my other friend Vinod has invited for us the podcast, right? So when we talk about our third person, then it become a blame game. Then
Yeah.
you guys you guys go and check out our social media, how much of words came to us about when we are talking about our real feeling
Yes.
about our exes, right?
Yeah.
So we do share about that as well. We do share about this as well. But for other couples, whoever is showing off to the social media, it is they have a challenge in their life and they are processing it. Let them process their private life separately. Let them show off in their social life
Their
separately.
happiness there. We don't have to like judge people. And let me tell you this, right? Do you guys dance and romance all the time? Come on. We dance whenever we feel like dancing. When there is a song, we feel like moving. Yes, we do dance. I did dance in the road as well. We did dance together on road, on shows, or wherever not. And yes, we do romance all the time because to be honest, for this, I would say thanks to my parents because I was the kid grow up seeing a very intimate couple because my parents, they don't really hide from us and kiss each other. They kiss openly and they hug openly. So being touchy, being huggy, being kissing each other is very normal in my house actually. That makes me to be very intimate and, very open to my partner actually. So yeah, we do that.
So yeah, as a child, if you didn't see that your parents are being intimate with each other, what happens to you is like that creates a lot of tension between your intimacy life.
Yeah.
So that is going to manifest as a different problems. I mean, like it's simple, right? So we always find this is a very common problem we do see in these days. You know what? My husband texted this girl. You know what? My boyfriend texted this girl. You know what? My girlfriend texted this guy. My wife texted this guy. Guys, texting is a distraction and texting is an addiction. Remember that. Texting is really a escape route. Everyone is taking it. We don't know what is their intention. We don't know what are they coping up with. So that is the reason they needed to let out their emotion in another form as an addiction. Texting is similar like how you are doing it alcohol, how you are doing it as a cigarettes. It is how it is, right?
Scrolling and texting.
Correct. Right? And remember that if your partner is doing that, there is a sign that some challenges between your intimacy. Don't try to become an investigator to find out what is the reason. First, try to ask yourself, what is the deepest thing can happen? You both are going to get separated. That is the deepest thing can happen. Nothing more than that, right? First, ask yourself, am I ready to face it? If you're not ready to face it, what happens to these days, the women or men, what they are trying to do, they are finding reasons outside as an external force, as a universe, right? They are going and trying to find an oracle card, or they are going and hiring a person to investigate that person, or you're doing all those kind of back end work. You don't need to do all those back end thing. You just need to ask. It's not about communication. It's about being in present with your
Partner.
Fear, with your shame, with your guilt, or you needed to understand what is that other person is going through. This is just an understanding. If you both can't do it, you really needed to find a help outside
From the professionals.
right?
Yeah.
But don't try to find it as an investigation, or don't try to store your emotion saying that, you know what, my ex needs to ask sorry to me. If you're having that need of your ex needs to ask sorry to you, it is very simple sign. You are either looking for your dad or looking for your mother in your ex. It's simple, right?
Yep.
Because you are manifesting your mother or you are manifesting your father's energy in your ex, because you want them to ask you sorry and they didn't ask you sorry. That's the reason you are expecting them to ask you sorry as an ex, right? This goes back to the point of like, that is a very simple. Whenever you get into a marriage, you will put whenever you get into a marriage, you will put all your baggage to that other person as a responsibility. No, it is not. You need to really understand where is that energy is transmuting from. If it is like example, like whenever you feel guilt or shame in your mother-in-law with father-in-law, you tend to blame them so much. But why not you see that as an energetical perspective? Isn't it the same way my father and mother behave to me? Just ask that simple question and see them as a human being. Don't label. Without label, if you see them both, it could have been similar energetical perspective. That is the reason you are familiarly accepting the abuse. That is the reason you are familiarly accepting whatever that you are going through, right? So, but we always see our father-in-law, mother-in-law as down, and then we see our father and mother as superior. No, they both are equal, right? See them.
Wow. That was really deep actually. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. And here goes another question. Okay, this is also interesting. They said getting angry, being jealous, being possessive are normal traits in relationships. Do you guys have them too in your relationship? Tell us the truth. Oh, come on.
Okay. First of all, we needed to categorize these things, right? Because angry is an emotion which is coming from competitive energy.
Energy, yeah.
Right? Possessiveness and jealousy coming from a lust,
Yeah.
right? Because if you are feeling possessive about that other person, which is a sign that deep inside, we all know how that other person can be intimate with that other person, right? So that is the possessiveness coming from. That is where jealous is coming from, because deep inside we could imagine that that person, both of them can be together with each other.
Because it is actually our mind. See, for example, right, getting jealous, the jealousy itself is when you are feeling so unworthy or insecure about yourself. Deep inside, somewhere you're competing with the other woman or other man. I don't have this. What if she go after that? What if he go after that? I don't have this. So it's more like you are seeing yourself as inferior personality. You're having some kind of competition, some kind of insecurity about yourself, and that's when you're going competing with other human being. The first thing first is to ask ourselves, what is that am I feeling? To be very honest, right? Jealousy and possessiveness is something that we never faced in our relationship.
Yeah, because we already started living together, right? So we don't, because every night we are sleeping with each other. Every night we are hugging each other and sleeping with each other. So we are talking to each other. Yeah. So every moment we are seeing each other. Yes, of course, there are moments when we are separate from each other. There will be like some kind of challenges we will be going through. But those challenges didn't turn out to be jealous or possessiveness or anger, because we have a very simple thing in our coaching framework, right? Like this came from our very good guru, Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
Whenever you are feeling unworthiness, whenever you are feeling fear, whenever you are feeling anger, whenever you are feeling shame, whenever you are feeling guilt, whenever you are feeling self-doubt, it is these 6 emotions are very opposite energy of love.
Yep.
Right? So the intensity could be different, but these 6 emotions are very opposite of love. Whenever you are feeling these 6 emotions, first you needed to ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What is that making me to feel this? Right? Of course, there could be a moments people tend to come and ask me that, you know what, I am, of course, I have processed all this, but why my partner don't realize that? That time, ask yourself, why are you not choosing to leave that person? What is the fear of abandonment you have within you, right? Because you are very fearful about like leaving that person. You don't know what you're going to do after that, because you don't know what kind of experience you wanted to live without that person, what kind of growth you wanted to have in your life, what kind of contribution you wanted to make in your life. So that resentment, right? All the while, I mean, it happened to me as well. When I am going through the divorce process, I was going through that fear as well. But what you needed to recognize is nobody is going to take away who you are. Yeah. If you are having that fear, tell yourself that you are manifesting your fear more. You're not manifesting your love.
Yep.
Right. So of course, we never had a angry. Yes, we do have
angry. Yes, we had. It's not jealousy or possessiveness. Angry we had. There was a moment, actually, the most angriest moment when
is to drive the car.
While in the car is what we felt most our angriest moment.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
the first
the manifestation of fear or anger. The anger, you guys can notice, the anger will happen in a location,
in a particular location that is very used to.
Yeah. So which is for us, it's car.
Yeah, and the first time was like when I was categorizing, or I was normalizing, right? Said all men are same. That was like in the beginning of our living together stage, like about few weeks of us being together, while me going through the angry version of like, you know what, men are same, men are like this, men are like that. And I was saying that to another man without realizing, because I wasn't pointing him out. I was pointing the people in my life. But then I was saying that to him. And that truly triggered him as well. And he got really angry.
I got hurtful on that moment. I just asked her, you know what? this is what all the women in my life are always saying this to me. I mean, like, there is a one man sitting next to you and trying to understand what is love, trying to give all the love he has.
Yeah.
And why can't you recognize that one man first?
Yes.
About all the other men in the world is different. First of all, recognize the next person sitting next to you.
Yep.
And then you talk about all the men. If you can't really feel that with that person sitting next to you, it is a sign that you have a relationship challenge. And also it is a sign that you haven't healed your manifested version, right? You are not really healing what is the pieces of you feeling this anger, right? So the competition within you.
Yep.
So that was the deepest moment. And yes, of course, there was another moment about driving car. It's a very silly matter to me, but for her, it's a very deep matter to her. So that was a moment that is the one moment we had, like one day she hasn't told me what she was feeling. Right. And then
in the morning it happened, but in the evening, I think at night before we sleep, we was talking, and then I was telling, you know what, I felt this.
So then I realized that was happening in our session, guys. It wasn't happening in a closed room. It was happening during our manifestation session. It's happening. Yeah. All right. So the last question is, what are the key things to look at while manifesting a relationship? So this is a very interesting question. So instead of looking it outside, first look within you. Are you really committed? Are you really able to get intimate with that other person? Are you able to know what kind of dream life you want to have in your life?
Yep. It's more like, I will just elaborate a little bit on that. What you want to become, who you want to become. Before going into relationship with another person, before having another person in our life, we needed to understand what we want to become, right? That's when we will be true to ourselves and true to our vision, what we're going to do end of the day, like how are we going to experience our life. Then comes another person in your life to experience it together and be accepting their version, like whatever they wanted to experience in the life. And then you guys just share the experience together and enjoy the life. So that is one important thing that we would like to see in that, right?
Yes. Because most of the time, whenever I ask this one simple question, right, you know what, my husband or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my wife is not spending time with me. So if they are not spending time with you, do you know how to spend time with them? It's not about how much time they are spending with you.
Yeah.
Do you know how to spend time with them? Because these days, the world of gadgets having a lot of attention span issue with each other. I mean, like we also face that, right?
Yep.
But do you guys know that how do you want to experience this world with your husband, with your wife, with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend? Do you guys know how to spend the time? It's not about cooking and eating in your dinner place. It's about how you're going to go outside. I mean, like eating and cooking and having a dinner is a routine.
Routine, the basic thing that we do for our living. We have to cook, we have to eat, right?
Right. So that
it is not counted.
That is not counted. I mean, that becomes a stress actually. It is kind of like, you know what, I want to go to my workout, but I don't want to go to my workout because I feel stressful. It's the same thing. It is happening. You guys need to experience the world and also experience the intimacy. Intimacy also, we are not experiencing it. You go for the bed, not only in the dining room. Are you really connecting in the bed?
Yep.
So that is the most important element of it, right? So you needed to understand it's a triangle, right? Sorry, I don't know how to put triangle, right? So it's kind of like, so here is the place of commitment and here is the dream, which is your future. Commitment happens in the present moment and dream is in the future. And intimacy is what connecting both of them, right? Which
so
is
it's like 1, 2, 3. You have to be connected in all 3 lines.
Yes. All of them has to be balanced. When you don't balance this in a relationship, what happens to you is like you will be blaming either commitment or you will be blaming either a dream or you will be blaming either intimacy, right? So just try to understand what is the piece of it you are blaming and then try to understand whether you were able to accept that or you were wanted to let it go, right? So if you can't accept it, please let it go so that other person can feel the love. No, don't hold on to the painful bond.
Letting go is an art.
Yes, I think there are a lot of books about that.
And books, and also recently Arvind speak about it. Let it go. If you don't like them, let it go.
So
it's an art.
Yeah, so it's an art, and you can't let it go because the pain which is deep within you, right? So you have to let go of the pain then you will have space in your heart to receive love, and it is going to manifest your soulmate or your twin flame or whoever that you think as love.
Yes, beautifully said. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for these wonderful questions. Certain question like we have never thought about. And some question we used to face it whenever we go to events and we meet people, and we used to face it there and that stuff, right? So thank you so much for this opportunity to speak about this. And we really wanted to do this actually. And there's a lot more we wanted to share. Like I said, there is one more is there to have the parents' side of the story, how a mother would feel, how they can share about it to the upcoming generation.
Maybe let me reveal the title, right? How you are manifesting fear into your kid's life.
Oh my God, that it is. This is really important for those parents to become, for you to understand actually what are you seeding to your kid, right? So we will be very honored to share that actually.
Yeah, of course, Mangala always come from a place of like changing the parent. So actually, you need to recognize that it is not that we are not trying to change the parents.
Yeah.
We are just giving an insights.
Insights.
It's the parents' choice whether they wanted to shift their perspective, and it's also not only the parents; it's the kids
As
who
well.
are also who hanging on to the part of like this is how I want to see the parent. This is how I want to manifest it, right? So the manifestation is not about control. Manifestation is about who you want to become. You become that person. Then the people who want to be in your life, they will be in your life. Whoever want to leave your life, they will leave by themselves.
Yep. Thank you very much. You can always find us in Mangala Inspires and Dilip Inspires Instagram and TikTok account. And if you want to ask us any questions about it or address something or asking for coaching session, you can always find us there and message us. Okay, we will reply you.
And thank you everyone for listening, and have a great, amazing
Day
year.
ahead.
Year.
Sending you love. Bye.